I never specifically thought I wanted to be a CEO, but when I worked in finance, I felt very unfulfilled. I wanted to make a greater impact than what I was making in that career, build something that helped others and lifted others up. I'm Brett Schulman, I'm 52 years old, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cava, and here are my secrets to success. We are Mediterranean through and through, and we think we're creating the next large-scale cultural cuisine category. It's just really simple, flavorful, satisfying food that you can feel good about eating. So I was born and raised in Philadelphia, and my father had worked in the car industry, the car business, and had an opportunity to buy into a car dealership in Maryland. So we packed up our bags and moved to Maryland, graduated high school, and went to college my freshman year out in Arizona, but that was a little bit far for me and wound up coming back and eventually graduated from University of Maryland. Was able to get an internship at a finance firm, an investment bank, and was able to use that internship to get a full-time job after I graduated. That really was the beginning of thinking about, well, maybe I want to do something different. And at the time, I met my wife, Mary. She talked about doing something more entrepreneurial. I had been thinking about doing something more entrepreneurial. So around 2004, we started to think about leaving our careers to do something more entrepreneurial. And that really came to life in a natural snack food company. A couple years later, as we were growing that business, I hadn't necessarily planned to do that full time. And around that same time, a friend of mine from college, from University of Maryland, called me and said, "Hey, will you talk to my cousin? They have a restaurant called Cava CEO. Do you know it?" So at the time, my partners Ted Ike and Chef Dimitri had opened a full-service restaurant in 2006 called Cava CEO, which still exists today in Rockville, Maryland. But that business was struggling. They said, "Do you have any advice?" So I gave them some advice. We agreed to stay in touch. And then about 2 months later, I called Ted back up and I said, "How's everything going?" He said, "No, well, not well. What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm thinking about what I'm doing next." And he said, "Well, why don't you come on board? Would you want to consult for us and help us fix this business?" And so I was able to go in and get the business profitable and get it turned around. And me and the guys hit it off, and they said, "Brett, why don't you become our fourth partner?" So I went back to the guys the next day and I said, "I'm in. Let's be partners. But have you ever thought about taking what we do in full service and in the grocery stores to a larger audience in a fast, health-based format?" We spent about a year figuring out how that food would translate from a full-service made-to-order format into a fast format, and ultimately settled on the walk-the-line format. And so this allows us very efficient labor productivity, which then allows us to take that efficiency and invest in our food quality. And we always felt that we were going to succeed with our high quality food that we were already serving in the full service restaurants. And we opened our first fast casual location in January of 2011. And fast forward to today, and we have over 340 restaurants operating in 25 states in the District of Columbia. I say being an entrepreneur is very much the cliche of riding a roller coaster. And you know, even at Cava, we've stared into the abyss a few times and lived to tell about it. And I think just the success we've had is really a byproduct of everything we put into it, how we invest in our team, how we invest in our guests and the guest experience. You know, we tell this to our team every day. We don't want you hitting the snooze button on Monday morning. We want you jumping out of bed excited to make the impact or do the work that you're gonna do. I'm an optimist by nature. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, but I use a couple terms that I talk about with the team a lot. And it's being a victor, not the victim. And it's being better, not bitter when a challenging situation comes up. Even when I'm getting frustrated and I'm recognizing I'm getting frustrated or feeling down in a situation, to remind myself that, hey, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, but be the victor of this situation. Don't sit and feel sorry for myself and be the victim. So I'm always trying to use those terms to calibrate my mindset. Mediterranean diet is the #1 ranked diet now 7 years running. And you know, I think it's the idea of, it's not so much a diet as a way of life. And this idea of eating whole foods in moderation and foods that are very high in nutritional value, but also very satiating, so that you're not snacking between a meal. The only thing we like to say after Cava, you don't need a snack or a nap. You're eating really flavorful food, you're eating very satisfying food, and oh, by the way, it's better for me, right? You don't have to make compromises, you don't have to make sacrifices, and you can walk down our line and pick out what you want to your tastes and preferences. Being a CEO and being responsible for now 10,000 people over time has absolutely changed my perspective in my daily life.